If you need to jump ahead to a certain log, here's the timestamps. Otherwise, let's start with tidbits and doodads. Today I'm going to show you how to get level 99 woodcutting and the fastest way that I know how. I'm level 95 woodcutting and this has worked for me. For axes up until, well, hatchets up until mithril, you can come to Bob's Axe and you can buy them direct from him. Or you can always use the Grand Exchange. But this is how you get to his shop, right outside of Lumbridge Castle. Also a note that you will not need to worry about until later levels, but you can purchase or make a fruit salad if you have a high enough cooking level. What this does is it adds a 10% woodcutting speed for your next 40 logs. The tooltip text is off. It is not 10 logs. It is actually 40 logs. I have tested this to confirm it. These do save a lot of time once you get to about magic logs or higher. I went through 94 fruit salads to get from level 75 to level 95 woodcutting. So for starters, from level 1, I'm assuming you have 0 experience in woodcutting. You're going to start with your basic oak tree. It has to be a small oak tree, and I'll show you the difference between a small, a big, and an apple. All 3 of these give the same log. They all give oak logs. Before you start, I suggest you have a bronze hatchet, an iron hatchet, and a steel hatchet in your bank. Right now we are at the top of Lumbridge Castle in Lumbridge Bank, and we're going to go to level 30, all back here. So this is a small oak, and this is a big oak. Simply put, size difference. An apple tree is the tree with the red blocks of wool or the red apples on it. A small oak will always provide 1 log. A big oak can give you multiple. That one just so happened to only give me 1. A note here. 9 experience for a small oak tree log, 15 experience for a big oak tree, and 22 for an apple tree when it provides you a log. I evened all of this out, and I figured you're probably going to get an average of 18 experience per log if you're doing this between level 1 and level 30. That means you will need, at default experience, 670 logs to go from level 1 to level 30. Also, apple trees do provide oak logs as well. In order to get back to the bank, just run back through these doors, up the kitchen, and up the stairs. And you can bank your logs. Now that you have level 30 woodcutting, you can chop down willow trees. These are very fast experience because in Drainer, which is right here on the map, just outside the bank, you have a large group of willow trees, and you will never need to have more than these 4 trees if you're at level 30. Always, always, always use the highest level hatchet that you can, with the slight exception of Dragon Hatchet. If you can't afford one, don't worry about it. It helps a ton, but if you can't afford it, don't worry about it. Rune Hatchet is still very good. At default experience, you will need 1,025 willow logs to go from level 30 to level 45. Congratulations! You're level 45 and can cut maple trees. Woohoo! This one is going to be fairly fast because they do give a lot of experience per log, and they're not too far from the bank. You are going to need to go 10 levels on maples, go from 45 to 55. You're going to need, at default experience, 1,176. and that will take you to pine trees. The fastest way that I have found to cut maples is in West Falador Bank. If you have the agility level to run through the shortcut here, and then turn and go straight north. If you do not have the agility level, you can cut through the town square and run out of the gates right there. But maple trees look like this, and you just chop down a few of these, fill up an inventory, run back and bank. From level 55 to level 60, you will be cutting down pine trees. There are two different models of pine trees, and I will show them both to you. And this is the first tree that I'm going to show you, for lack of a better term, the cheat. The way that you can cut down your running from tree to tree quite substantially. If you are in Edgeville Bank, which is right here, you run out and straight over past the monastery, and there's going to be a side of a mountain that you're going to run up. There are multiple pine trees around there. Absolutely hate that mound. I get caught up in it on it all the time. All right. This is one of the models for the palm tree. The pine tree. Like I said, the pine tree. And this is the other model for the pine tree. And like I said, there is a way to cut down your running from tree to tree. If you go up close and then you cut up here, once the tree fells, which in this instance only took one log, you can come down here and have an entirely separate instance of cutting down the tree. Once you reach level 65 woodcutting, you're now able to cut down Sequoia. This was, for me personally, my least favorite log to grind out. You're going to go from level 65 to level 75 with Sequoia logs. And you're going to need 3,578 of these logs at standard default slow experience. There's no good place for them, but the best place, and I've timed it, is in Sears Village from the bank, which is located right here on the map. From the bank, you run around out here, back behind the castle. There's a group of 3 of them right close to each other. The reason why I'm not a huge fan of these trees, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to get 30 logs off of one tree, but you can't double cut them. At least from what I've found, you can't double cut them. And also you only get 5 or 6 logs per tree, which is really cumbersome to have to run around. You can't AFK so well with these logs. And there it is, 5 logs. Let's check it out here. How many are we going to get? One log. So like I said, these are kind of unfortunate. You have to have so many of these logs, and you have to run between cuts so frequently. This is, in my opinion, the hardest grind. Now, there is a group of Sequoia trees next to the crafting guild. They are not as good as these ones here. 2 reasons. Reason number one, the run pattern from tree to tree to tree is more of a triangle here, where next to the crafting guild, it is a line where you have to backtrack all the way to the first tree again. And so you're wasting a lot of extra time running while you are filling up your inventory. The second reason, when you use the deposit box, whatever is in your offhand, even if your hatchet is locked and you choose to deposit all at the lockbox, it does not deposit what is in your offhand, which forces you to open up your inventory, move the Sequoia log out of your hand, and then deposit again. So you're eating up a lot of time doing that. Not much, but over the span of thousands of logs, it's going to add up. So this is definitely the best spot, and it is superior to the crafting guild. Now that you are level 75 magic, you can cut down magic logs. And this is where I started to enjoy woodcutting, because you can go a little bit AFK and still get quite a bit of logs per chop, per cut, per click, however you want to call it. Now, I used a rune hatchet for most of these logs for magics with a fruit salad. A dragon hatchet will help, but you can still get away with using a rune hatchet if you don't have the money for a dragon hatchet. For magic logs, you're going to be in Catherby, and you're going to do them from 75 to 85, and this is going to require 6,504 logs to get to level 85. You're at this bank right here, and you run straight over to this magic tree, and you can multi-chop these trees. This tree you can actually triple chop, and I will show you that right now. If you can even hop up these stinking things. Alright, so walk over to the edge, chop this one. If you're hitting this block, it's going to knock it down, and then you chop on this block just to the left of these leaves. And then for the third chop, you just come anywhere down here. This tree right here, you cannot triple chop that I have found. You can double chop. And then the last little bit of information is if you are a low level character and you burn out of both of those trees and you need to come to this tree and you want to stay safe from this ent because it will aggro onto you if you are a low enough level, if you stand back here and click onto this block, it will not aggro onto you unless somebody has pulled it over to you, which kind of a kind of a rude and funny thing to do. But no, that's all you need is these 3 trees for the magic logs. And like I said, it's pretty AFK. You get sometimes where you fill up most of an inventory with one click. Now that you are level 85, you're going to be cutting down boab trees. And this is where I would definitely suggest forking out a little bit of money to buy the fruit salad. This will save you a lot of time. I also am a very lazy. Yes, I said it. I used speed potions while cutting down boabs. The reason why is they're a little bit of a hike from one tree to the next. But they are close to the bank. That is their huge saving grace. Right outside of Taverley Bank, you get this boab tree here. And then this is where the hike comes in. You run straight north like you're running towards the Warriors Guild. Like, look at that. Even with speed 2 potions, I sped up that clip. But you got another tree here. And then the third tree that you will cut is right here. Now, I never got the ability to double cut these ones. I tried it a couple times, and then I just figured I was wasting time. But I have heard that if you cut high in some of these areas, then you can cut low and double cut one of these trees. I tried it about 10 times and never got it. If you can figure it out, good for you. Otherwise, you're going to cut these trees down from 85 to 90, and you're going to need 4,357 logs from these trees. Congratulations, you have made it to level 90 woodcutting. You've made it to the promised land. Elder logs are so easy to cut down, and they are so AFK. You're in Edgeville at this bank, and to get to the elder tree, you just run over this direction, over this mound, like you're heading over past the monastery again. However, here's an elder tree. Beautiful, beautiful thing about this elder tree. You can climb the vines. I went from level 90 to 95 on this tree alone. The only time I wasn't at this tree is if somebody else was cutting it down. But you will fill up your inventory with this tree. You cut down this length. So while this is cutting down, I will have a little fun fact. With a dragon hatchet and with fruit salads, it takes right around 10 minutes for a full inventory of logs. So you're getting 36 logs every 10 minutes or so. If you are doing this from 90 to 95 at default experience, you're going to need 5,107. If you are running perfectly the entire time, you could get from level 90 to 95 during a 12-hour double experience drop. You're never going to need to leave here. The third area that you chop is right here. And it'll cut down that extension. This one will cut down that extension like you saw. This one here will cut down that extension. And you never have to leave the top of this tree. If this tree is taken by somebody, I should show you the other tree that's close by. Right over here. So this one does take an extra 20, 30 seconds, not even that, to walk to it. But that way 2 people can use an elder tree entirely to themselves. So now that you are level 95, you can cut down the highest level log in the game. You can cut down Sakuras. If you want to go to level 99 for that skill cape, you're going to need 5,014 logs from these here trees. You're in Catherby, you head straight north. You've got 2 trees right here. I suggest only doing these 2 trees if you need a small handful. You can double cut these. However, I have, while double cutting them, made it to where I was having to wait for these trees to respawn. You can chop here. Once it falls, then you drop down and cut lower. A full inventory here without salad takes 12 minutes. That's round trip, getting all that you need. That 12 minutes is optimal, meaning I didn't have to wait for a tree to regrow during that 12 minutes. If you are having to wait, it's just going to make it even longer. The other place to cut Sakuras is actually in Intrana, and you can see them right there off in the distance. I'm going to show you how to get there. And fun fact, it's 12 minutes round trip to deposit everything there as well. And so it is definitely the better place to go there because there are multiple trees. You're not going to have to wait for other trees to respawn. To get to Intrana, If you are in Folidor, here is the West Bank, located right here on the map. And if you go to the building just north, you come to this guy here. Say yes, pay 50 coins. You're going to go to the island. And they do have a bank deposit box. So lock your hatchet. If you do not know how to lock your hatchet, I just unlocked mine. But you hover over to where it's in your hand. You type in /lock. And it will lock your item, which will allow you to go to the bank deposit box and hit, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to anyway. If you hit deposit all, it will deposit everything in your inventory that is not locked. So all of the runes that I had there for teleporting around, they all went into my bank. So I'm going to fill up an inventory full. So I'm going to show you here, all of these trees you can double cut, but you've got 1, 2, 3, and you shouldn't need more than these 3 trees to cut down. There should be no reason for you need to run all the way over there. And again, it's 12 minutes round trip to fill up an entire inventory, and that is without a fruit salad. And you're not going to have fruit salads here because you cannot withdraw from that bank deposit box. All right, so you've got an inventory full of Sakuras. You got all your Sakura logs, and you go to deposit them all. Oh, crap. There's still one in my offhand. So just switch your hatchet to your offhand before you talk to him the first time by pressing F and deposit all. That way you don't have to reopen the inventory. And that is my woodcutting guide. To go from level 95 to 99 during double XP, you need to cut Sakura logs for 14 hours. It will take you 14 hours to go from 95 to 99 during double experience.